Welcome to the Keeping It Real Conversation Show. This is your host, Camila, aka Sunshine. We are live on, nope, we're not live on Facebook because I'm in Facebook jail. But we are live on Twitch, Twitter, the YouTube channel. Please like and share. It is the name of the show, Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine. It is Saturday, April the 2nd,
April the 2nd.
2022. And I love it. I love it. I love it. Again, our show is based off of 6 degrees of separation. You are one person away, one vice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny.
That's
I'm
right.
excited for every host, every person, every guest that I ever have on this show. I am grateful and thankful. Tonight is going to be epic. It is. I tell you, epic it is. First of all, let me get into this. This is it. So we're gonna get into his bio real quick, and then we're gonna get into the conversation, and then it's up from here. So you guys, this man that we're looking at, I'm about to introduce, is well known, very well known. We just discovered some history, and I'll tell you about it in a few minutes. I kind of dated him, but however, he still look good. So tonight we have Eternal. Is one of the founding members of the multi-platinum hip hop, R&B, and pop group PM Dawn.
Yeah.
He, along with his brother, his late brother, right now is Prince B, form one of the most influential, legendary, and successful groups in the history of music entertainment business. This man right here is responsible for producing such historical smash hits, Set Adrift on Memory Bliss, I Die Without You, Looking Through Patient Eyes, and Downtown Venus. Just to name a few. This man right here, Mr. Eternal, is currently producing more hits, songs for his cousin, Grammy considered gold selling and double platinum award winning recording artist Naya.
Yeah.
Napoleon. And we'll talk about that too. He is also currently featured in the PM Dawn Unsung episode on TV One, which premieres tomorrow.
Tomorrow, baby, yeah.
So tonight, I want you guys to put your hands together and welcome Mr. Eternal from PM Dawn.
Yeah. What's up, Sunshine?
What is going on, sir?
It's all good. It's all good. It's all sunshine. Look at that.
It's all you. we shining on you tonight. So let's get into this conversation. I'm so geeked about it. So before we got started, I asked him a simple question.
Really simple, yeah.
And I asked him what year did
Just Set Adrift on Memory.
the song from Boomerang, when did that come out? Said 92.
Yeah.
91, 92. You guys, I didn't graduate from middle school.
Wow.
June of 92. I was in middle school going to the 9th grade when this wonderful song hit the airway.
Wow. Look at that.
That's why I said he still looks good, okay?
Listen, I have no problem admitting the fact that this past July 17th, I just had to cross the threshold of 50. So I'm at 50 right now, 50. I'm loving it. I feel more excited than I was in my 20s. So I'm good. I'm good.
And you look good.
Thank you.
So I always tell people, our audience, once I get on with someone, I let them know where the 6 degrees of separation comes in, or how I know you, how we connected. And I got connected to you through Mr. Napoleon, Eugene.
Yes.
And as we said in the bio, you're producing his wife,
Yep.
Naya Napoleon.
Naya, which Mr. Napoleon, Mr. Eugene Napoleon, which is crazy, which is my cousin. So it's good. It's so dope to work with family. It's so dope. It's that whole family atmosphere. It just, now that Prince B is passed on, it feels good to connect with family and to still, have that connection while I'm working, and family and business. And in this case, it's a beautiful situation. It's awesome.
So not too long ago, I just met them through Wally Main Event, and he put me onto them, and
Hmm.
they put me onto you.
Yeah.
So now we're here with a whole nother connection. Um, and it's dope in itself. I have talked to you on the phone, for
Hmm.
myself, and it was almost like, oh God, um, we're more connected than I thought.
Right.
There's their moment of uh, profit to profit, and
Hmm.
there's the moment of God. If we stay on this phone any longer, I don't know what you're going to manifest while we're on this phone,
Right.
but it's
Yeah.
explosive.
Yeah.
So
That's how you know when you connect like that, and when you feel God in it, it's real. And that's exactly what it was. When Eugene told me, he's like, you have to do it. You got to talk to us. She's dope. You're gonna love her. It's gonna be great. And he was not lying. Not at all. Not even a little bit.
when I
It's
tell
amazing.
you, I am in awe of how God is orchestrating everything, from the moment of the encouragement I get from you of you're walking in it. Just keep going, sis. Keep
Yeah.
doing it. Even in changing, while I'm correcting people in their language, you were correcting me in my own language. And
Right.
to see the explosiveness of what God is about to do, not only for me, not only for you, but the legacy that we have. Um, that is
Yeah.
it's not about us. It's a whole new world. It's a whole
Yep.
new type of arena. Now, now that I said all of that,
Yeah.
I'm in awe that I get to have the conversation with you before the day before this mega um
Not even the day, the eve.
the
The
eve
eve
of, yes.
before the Unsung premiere tomorrow, April 3rd, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, y'all. It's going down. But it's so dope to do this interview and have something that is, you know, something that is spreading the PM Dawn energy on the eve of. Um,
It's
it's
crazy.
dope. Yeah.
I'm like, it could have went to someone else. It could have, all of those what if. And then
Right.
there's the moments like, no, God chose you this moment, this time,
Yep.
sitting here with history.
Wow.
History.
Shout out to Prince B, the captain of the PM Dawn ship, the main, the focal point, the songwriter, the captain. My brother, my big brother, Prince B. What's crazy? Ever since he's been gone, he comes to me in my dreams like every 2 or 3 days. Just, I guess, for comfort. I don't know. I just feel it feels like home when he's around. And sometimes he'll come and he'll hum melodies, and I have to get up out of my sleep and grab my phone and just throw an idea down real quick because he was giving me something. Or sometimes he just comes and he just hangs out for no reason. And it's crazy. Once his bodyguard, Big Rob, had passed, um maybe about a year or two after him. And he came to me one day with Big Rob. It was crazy. Like we still have that connection even on the other side. And Big Rob was just like, "Yo, look, I'm not dead. I'm alive. Like me and B is chilling." And I was like, "This is just crazy. Like, what is this?" But I'm glad that they do that. he did that for me, and that he still comes around every couple of days just to I don't know, to say hi or just to be around because I need the comfort or something. I don't know, but I'm thankful for it.
So you mentioned that, and this is just to clarify or to give knowledge to some who never knew about this. That you and your big brother were actually brothers. They wasn't just like a group that came together and we formed. We were friends. No,
Right.
you actually were born brothers.
Yeah, same mama, same daddy, same DNA, same
Okay.
DNA genome. So, yeah, which was it was so dope because, you know, growing up together, you know everybody's nuances and stuff. So when you're out on stage and you're performing in front of a crowd, I can tell by a look what he needs. Does he need me to start the verse? Because he may have forgotten some lyrics. What does he want? Like, does he need a break? Does he want me to just go in full or whatever? Just by a glance, just from growing up together, being siblings, you can tell that from across the stage and just jump right into action. So this is a perfect situation for siblings and in business too.
Absolutely. So with that being said, when did you guys know? I'm sure at a younger age, but when did you guys know that music was your calling?
Well, music was everything in our household. My paternal dad, my dad, he passed away when I was a month old. So my step pops, Big Moose out here in Jersey City. Everybody know Big Moose. Big Moose started. He kind of put the early incarnation of Kool and the Gang together, and he managed them and was like the tour guy and everything, right? So and he played congas in the group and everything when they were called the Jazzy Acts before they were Kool in the Gang. So having all those musical influence in the house, and his my stepfather, Big Moose, his one of his good friends was Richie Havens. So we had all these different influence. My mom, she's a gospel singer, she's a songwriter, she's no joke, right? So having all those influence, even my dad, my paternal dad, he sang. And from what I hear from my mom and from my step pops and from the whole family is he would hit these high tenor notes that any group that you heard who sang high tenor notes can't hit a note like my dad. So having all of that in the environment, and as we grew up, my uncle Timothy, he came to live with us and he brought to the table, you know, uh, DJ equipment, and it was so much musical influence in the house. It was just, when we figured that we can do it professionally, we literally, talked about it. Should we, you want to sit down and punch a clock, or we should do this, and that's how it really went. It was a no brainer because it was just a natural progression to just march into a music.
So, with that being said, how
Hmm.
do you guys come up with your names?
Well, the interesting thing is we were looking for a name, right?
Mhm.
And they back in those days there were free magazines. There was this free gospel magazine. You just go up to a stand in the street and take a
Pick it up.
magazine out. It was called The Plain Truth. And while we were looking for a name, he was just reading these just to read them and have fun and explore what they were saying. And in this magazine it said, "In the darkest hour comes the light." And we looked at each other, and he said, that's like a weird PM Dawn kind of thing. And then we looked at each other again, was like, "That's the name, that's it." That see that and that's siblings. When you just know, that you can just look and know what that look means.
Okay.
And PM Dawn was born. And it was like it was, we looked at it as Prince B, the P and the M, the Prince B and Mimics on the rise, or, you know, but later on, Rev Run would tell us that all of what we thought, it was kind of accurate, but he said it's more of like the dawning of prophetic music than anything. And I was like, damn, like how do you live up to that? Right? Crazy.
So, okay, so now we know how the name of the group came about, but what about you guys' name? So you are called the Eternal. Your brother was Prince B. So where did those two names come from?
Right. See, back in those days, my aunt Deborah, she named Prince B. She named him Little Bucky after my. They used to call my dad the Buck of Jersey. So my aunt Deb would call Prince B Little Bucky, right? Little B. So it then became B, and then when he started rapping, it just became Prince B, And we were in a group with my uncle, and it was Prince B and Courageous Cut and DJ Minute Mix, right? So as it started to evolve even more, it was just the group. It was just me and my brother. It was Prince B and DJ Minute Mix. So it was weird. We brought that into after we got signed into the first album and all of that stuff. And my name got changed during the second album. Prince B was telling me, he said, I'm putting an attachment to my name. I said, I'm gonna call myself Prince B the Nocturnal. And I said, that's crazy. I said, why would you do that? I said, well, if you do that, I'm just gonna call myself JC the Eternal. And he looked at me, he was like, see, now that's what I'm talking about. That's it right there. I said, you know what? Let me think about that. And I just kept it from the second album on. It was JC the Eternal. And now it's just, for short, it's Eternal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is why, like I said, some people don't ask the right questions, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it gives you light on how things happen or um where the beginning came from. We can't appreciate the unsung if you don't know the beginning of the unsung.
Right.
So again, tomorrow Unsung is dropping this wonderful
Yes.
group into the archives of Unsung. And I love Unsung. If you ever go back to most of my interview conversations, I let you
Mm-hmm.
know shows like Unsung, shows like Drink Champs, shows like this that really get into the depth of a person is what I love. God got me on this to understand the business on all sides, from the person that it affected, the family, the all of these things. He said, pay attention. I want you to
Mm.
listen to what usually is the cause of somebody's demise.
Right.
Most of the time when we see unsung, especially in groups, it's the drugs, it's the women or men, or it's somebody outside of the group talking to one person as you don't need them.
Right.
You go on by yourself. And you be like, well, how did that happen? And so again, for you, your brother to be on one of my favorite shows is
Wow.
beyond words right now.
Wow. You know what? I think Unsung serves as well as, it does tell a story from, it doesn't have to be a tragic story. Just tell everybody has a story,
Right.
right? But
Mm-hmm.
it can serve as a cautionary tale as well to newcomers coming up. Be like, well, I shouldn't be doing that. Like, can't be doing that like homie over there because we know what the end result is. And that is good. It's informative in that way. And it can really, if an artist is really serious about their career, they can definitely learn from the veterans who walk through some crazy stuff.
That definitely in contracts. If I don't know nothing else,
Yeah.
make sure your contracts is right. So again, I am grateful for this conversation. Um, since the passing of your brother,
Yeah.
um, how do you feel the music world took that in? Was it just look, I'm not doing music anymore for a phase, or what was going on around that time?
Well, the cool thing about it, right? is when he passed, that a lot of people recognized him. Like it was crazy the tweets that went out. Even Questlove wrote like an apology to, we did Prince B dirty. We never really paid attention to his genius, and he was hip hop's Brian Wilson, and because he really was. It was, you know, that was big, and he really wanted to know what an impact, like that, like he had that impact, and I'm so glad that that happened. um at the end, at least he got that, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's devastating for the family, and you all, it was tough. I mean, one of the first songs that I wrote after was a Prince B tribute song, and it was tough. Like, I asked my brother Jason and my brother Sauce to come in and rhyme on it, and it was so emotionally painful. I only did one verse because, and I wrote a whole song, but I can't even emotionally get the strength up to record a second verse. So I just left it the way it is. And I'm gonna just leave it the way it is. Maybe I'll do an extended version. I don't know, with the family, my brother Jason and my brother Sauce come in and rhyme on it. But, you know, um, we'll see. It's really emotional. Like every time I listen to the song, like I tear up, and it's just, it just brings me back to that place, when he exited this planet, and you know I couldn't go and hear his voice on the phone anymore and talk to him like in that way. I guess that's why he comes around, because he knows I still need it. you know
And I'm glad you said that. It, another reason why we have a lot of things in common. Your brother passed from kidney failure. My dad passed away from kidney failure. And one
wow.
of the things that those moments, if you only knew, my dad called me the week he passed away and was um apologizing to me for not being a better father. And I'm
Wow.
like, Dad, you're the greatest. Like, you're the greatest American hero. What are you talking about?
Hmm.
And he just like, I should have pushed you more. I want you to go back to your first love, what was writing. All of these different
Wow.
things. And I'm like, Dad, I'm good. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
The last day that he
Mm.
was on Earth, I had just erased my phone messages off my phone. That
Wow.
was the last time he called me and left a message on my phone. So
Wow.
when you said the phone, that was the moments like, man, I wish if I would have known that would have been the last moment that I would hear your voice. I would have never
Yeah.
erased the phone call.
Right.
Um, and again, just to see, my father was dealing with kidney patient for 18 years.
Dang.
He didn't
Wow.
want us to give him a kidney. He didn't want none of that, because a lot of people don't know it's a lot of other things that goes on the other side of doing that, and that's not 100% guarantee. Even
Right.
after uh, getting a kidney, that it will last or your body would take and all of this different stuff.
Right.
And Dad didn't want us to go through that, or he didn't want to go through that. But I seen him through his greatest. I seen him, go down here over the years.
Hmm.
He fought death several times. And so when I got the call that he was actually gone, I didn't believe it.
Right.
So I know
Wow.
the impact that death
Wow.
itself have on people, but when that's your ride or die, your best friend, that connection is like, okay, how do I live?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
in this
Like, what? The new normal is no joke. Like, what is that? It was weird when I came to the realization that, oh wow, I'm the older brother now. Like, how do you live up to that? That's just a magnanimous thing to even think about. It's crazy. I still can't wrap my head around that. And I actually have the last message that he sent me. And he had just came out of an operation, and he had said his goodbyes because he didn't know if he was, what could happen in the operation.
Right.
And after that, he called me and he goes, he said, I don't understand. Like, why am I still here? Like, that's crazy. Like, it's good. Like, he was just, celebrating the fact that he was still here on this side and asking me spiritually, like, is there anything holding me here and stuff like that? And I was like, and he asked me, he said, why am I still here, man? And I said, because nobody wants you to leave and we're holding on to you. And I told him, I said, I feel you. And I said, if you're in pain or whatever, and it's good that we can come and see you in the hospital or whatever. But I said, if you're in pain, it's not fair for me to, it's not fair for me to hold on to you. And it's selfish. I said, you know what? Because you said that, I said, right now, I'm just gonna, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm gonna take myself out of the equation and I'm not gonna be selfish. And if it's your time, then it's your time, and I'm not gonna hold on. Because if you in pain, that's the craziest thing, to hold on just so I can drive up and see you every now and then, and it's not fair. So it was the hardest thing I had to do, was to really let it go. And, it was, oof, I still feel it, still feel it. It's crazy.
So how long after that conversation with him did he pass?
I think about a month or so after that, he passed. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I had to be
Crazy.
I'm the oldest of it's three of us. And my mother told me the day she told me about it, it's like I don't want to do nothing. I just want to show up at the funeral. So
Wow.
I had to do everything. I really didn't have time to grieve, to because I had to take care of business. I had to make sure everything was to my dad's wishes, um, all of that stuff. So it wasn't until years
Wow.
later that I finally gotten to the point of grieving for myself, and I had
Right.
to be selfish in that, to not allow anybody this moment to be about you when it's about me right now. You had your turn.
Right.
Now it's
No
my
doubt.
turn.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's
Can
my
I
turn.
process this right now? Can I process? Yeah, I get it. Oh yeah.
So, um, those moments when you go back into writing and producing, where was your mindset at when these songs hit the airwaves? Like, did you have an inkling that these songs was gonna be as epic as they were?
We had a good feeling about the song. Well, you
Okay.
don't know how people are going to take a song, what radio is going to do when they get it, all that kind of stuff. There's many variables, right?
Right.
But as long as you do a song as artists and you have a great feeling about what's going down, it's magical. With us, it was magical. It had a different sound. It didn't. It was a very unique sound. So we figured, in the right hands, and we did. We had all the top radio dogs promoting this record. I mean, they're top dogs today, to this day, in the industry. So we had the best of the best of the best of the best, whole entire team, the G Street staff, the Island Record staff. It was unfreaking believable. And they made it happen. And that thing hit the set adrift, hit the airwaves, and it went, basically the number one immediately. Number one on the Billboard Hot 100. So it's that good feeling paid off. And it was a marker for other singles when we had that good feeling as well. I'd be like, all right, thumbs up on that one. That's the next single. So we had you know, a case in point in feeling to go to while we were creating.
So, what was it like to get the conversation, or what was the conversation like to know that someone on the caliber of Eddie Murphy?
Yeah. Well, listen, check this out. We were we were in Paris doing the last minute promotions on the first album with Set Adrift and all that. And it's weird when your manager's handing you the phone and like Eddie Murphy's on the other end. He wants to talk to you. It's insane. Like, what is that? Right. So Eddie was like, listen, y'all getting big. I want to catch y'all before y'all just get too big and don't want to work with a brother. I know you guys are in Paris, but when you come home, we should talk. Call me. I'll send you guys a car. You come to my house. We're gonna hang out. And me and my brothers looking at each other like, what? Like, what? Right. So it was on and popping after that. Like, we got home, we called Eddie, true to nature. He sent that call. We went over to his house. We're hanging out. He was like, listen, I thought personally that he wanted to do an album and just have music in the back while he's telling jokes or something. But he was like talking about like, let's write some like theatrical, classical stuff for this album. And me and my brother were trying to figure it out, but trying to get our heads around like Eddie wants real material, like songs. Like, and then Eddie's picking up the bass and he's rocking hard on the bass. He's strumming the guitar like a pro. He's on the keyboards. Eddie is a true musician to his core. He can play all of it.
Wow.
Right. And that's the thing that was just like, it was mind blowing. Like, what? Oh, he's really freaking serious right here. Right.
Uh-huh.
We got to do this.
Uh-huh.
So with a little, trying to come up with an idea, he figured we were struggling a little bit on it, just trying to make the connection of, all right, it's not comedy. It's like, it's real. So he said, you know what? He said, you know what I think this is? He said, this is what it is. He said, this is what I think y'all here for. He said, I'm doing this movie. Robin Givens is in it, Halle Berry, Mark Lawrence. He named the whole cast, really. He's like, we're having a ball. It's about a player who gets played. He told us about the whole thing. He said, listen, you write me a song for that. He said, and LA and Babyface has the soundtrack locked down, but I'll make sure that I put it in their hands and make them put it on the soundtrack, right? Which is insane, right? So he said, I don't even care what it is you guys send me because I know it's going to be hot. Just when it's done, you call me. I'll send a car. You will bring it here to me, put it in my hand, and I will put it in their hands. And he, true to form, he was a man of his word. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. And, LA and Babyface really made that thing happen. And the interesting thing about I Die Without You is it legitimized us not to G Street Records, because John Baker, the president, and, he knew what he had and he believed in us. But for the island staff that didn't have the connection like John had, they were a little leery when we played them the song. We gave them the option before we called Eddie. We gave them the option, said, look, we're doing the song. We're starting the next record. Do you want to keep this for the album? Or, so we'll give Eddie another song or whatever. It was like, man, you guys don't sing. This is the Island record staff. You guys don't sing. Like what? Like not whole songs, like a ballad. You guys are like rapper DJ. Like, no, they said, get that crap out of here, right? Get it out of here. We don't need that, right? So gave us the green light. We gave it to Eddie, LA and Babyface on LaFace Records. As you know, that promotional team at Arista, Clive Davis and the crew ain't no joke. And it went through that machine. And that was the thing that, for I Die Without You, that made I Die Without You become number what was it, 3 on the Hot 100 Billboard. And I've never seen so many flowers. I couldn't even walk in my place. It was so many forgive me flowers, and in my foyer I couldn't move. Like, it was from the whole island staff individually, everybody, right? So
Yeah, they messed up,
after
huh?
after that, one guy, Johnny Barbas, one vice president of Island, he was like, listen, I manage Elton John, so I give me one of those I Die Without Yous. He's like, Elton is working on a duets record right now. He's like, give me one of those I Die Without You, Joe. And that was the thing after that. Like, if Eddie didn't do that move, we wouldn't, he really legitimized us to our island staff, like, and made them want, demand like more songs, like, give us those I Die, give us those ballads, sing more, right? it was I can't thank Eddie enough for that, and Prince B for writing that song. Like, I could work on the music all day, but the song, he sat down and actually wrote that. Like, that's big, man. That's big. And shout out to Eddie. Shout out to Eddie Murphy for making that happen.
Just this is why I say, we are literally one person away, one advice away, and one help away from where you need to be in your
Yeah.
destiny. And for Eddie Murphy to reach out to you guys in Paris, first of all,
Right.
to be like, I know, y'all about to get in, for him to see it beforehand
Yep.
is the part that I'm stuck at. Like, he recognized that you guys were gonna get there,
Yep.
and for him to
Yeah,
call
that's crazy. That's
at
crazy.
that time, it could have went a whole nother way with Boomerang, because at that time we were like really really hip hop, with Teddy Riley, all of that type of stuff. But the type of movie that it was a romantic kind of, and from
Yeah.
that scene, everybody not only on an individual song, but you got to think of that soundtrack went up the billboards.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And what's check this out. Eddie told us at the rap party. He said, now that you gave us the song, we know what we wanted to do with the song in the movie. We had to cut a new scene to put the song to start the song in. And I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me, Eddie. He was like, no, we had to go in and shoot a scene, to correlate with the song and to make it a whole piece. Like, I was like, what? Like,
So
that's
that, if
crazy.
I'm not mistaken, let me get back, because I done seen this movie several times. I
Mhm.
want to say, if I'm not mistaken, is it the moment him and Holly Berry was broken up and he was trying to get back with her?
Yeah, it was the part where he was telling her that he couldn't breathe without her and stuff
Yes,
like
and he
that. It
brought
was
the
that. Like,
kids.
they had to go in and shoot that. And I was like, you
Wow.
gotta freaking be kidding me. Really? That's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's the moment like after he had the kids come in and talk about
Yeah.
him, and now he's the teacher. And
Yep.
I'm like, that's a shame that I know that so bad. How many
No,
times I've seen Boomerang?
that's what happens with a good movie. You watch it like a billion times and it's in you. You know what I'm
But
saying? And yeah.
even in that, it's the song. So the song was perfect for
Yeah.
that scene.
Yeah.
Because if you would have never said it, I would have never put two and two together. That song
Right.
and that scene, it's embarked into me.
Wow.
Listen. Did you just see what just happened?
Wow. That's crazy. I love it. I love it. See, you never know how things are gonna go. You just do what you
No,
do and let God take care of the rest. Really.
man. Um. Wow. Wow. Um. Yeah, that happened. that
Yeah, that's real.
happened. I was
That's
just
real.
looking at a video of you singing on, was it Good Morning America or something like that. One of
Oh,
those.
the NBC Philly. I did I die without you.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I had a friend. She called me one day. She was like, she used to work at that station, and she got up one day. She was like, you know what? I'm putting you on TV. I don't care what you say. You can't tell me no. It's going down in like a week, right? She's like, I don't care what you said. I want you to sing "I Die Without You" on TV. So I was like, I had no choice.
Hmm.
But when you're saying MVC, you're gonna do it anyway, right? So um, the cool thing about it is, right, as I continue to go out and tour, and now that this Unsung episode is coming up, there's a lot of fans like demanding that we go out, and perform and stuff. So we're in the middle of setting all that stuff up now. But the great thing about that performance is I saw comments was like, he went and got a copy of a live performance of his brother and like did a lip sync to it, right? And it was like, there's no way he's singing that song. And I'm like, I'm on the record. It's like, come on now. Right. And the great thing about being brothers and having the same mom, the same dad, the same DNA, it's, how will I say this? It's like if one of the Jacksons could perform right now and sing Michael's songs and sound exactly like Michael, that would be crazy. You wouldn't really, Michael's not here, but you wouldn't really miss nothing. And that's what it is with PM Dawn. Because I'll sing, I'll go and recut those records and you wouldn't know the difference at all. And that's the great thing. And that's the gift that God gave this family is, if one's not there, then the other can pick up that slack and go out and have the same sound, the same unique sound, and tear the house down.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm literally excited for you, for all the doors that are opening for you. Of course, I told you the other day when I eventually get to New Jersey, I have
Yeah.
so many people to meet, and of course,
Mm.
that is you, um,
Wow.
and
Yes.
to be able to put New Jersey on the map. I don't even know if people really research or if they even knew you was from New Jersey. I didn't know
A lot of
until we
people
actually
don't.
started talking.
Yeah, and the great thing about the unsung piece is that it really it points those things out, and it's great to have that because then it goes into, the unsung library that just gets played like forever and ever and ever, which, that's dope to have that and to really, I'm just saying it, I'm not saying it because I'm in it or it's part, it's PM Dawn, but it's a very well put together piece. It was a lot to cram in. I don't know how to. I was thinking like this is like a mini series or something. Like this is a lot of information to cram in, but they crammed in a lot. I mean, a lot. Like, uh, wow. PM Dawn has a rich history, and I don't know how they did it.
But
You
they
know,
did it, and we gonna find out tomorrow.
we're gonna find out tomorrow, 9 p.m., April 3rd, baby.
So I always ask this question always too is what's a balanced life for you? Do you have a
I'm
balanced life?
I'm still trying to figure that out. Really, trying to because there's constant song ideas that are coming that you have to put into production, and it can take a minute. Translating what you're hearing in your head and physically, into a physical thing. Sometimes it's easy. Some days you just bang out a song, and some days you have to sit there and go and force it to be what you hear in your head. So that hogs up mucho time. So I have to figure out days that I will not work, that days I just hang out with the wife and just chill. And, I'm still finding that balance because there's so much with this unsung piece, and all of that to be ready for certain things, especially with my own material, as I'm working on my cousin Naya's EP as well. So it's a lot, it hogs up a lot of music, hogs up a lot of time. And to find that balance, sometimes my wife will know. She gives me that look of like, I know you want to be somewhere else, right? Like in the studio working, and I'm not going to bother you right now, you know? So uh, that's the balance right now. It's try and get these songs out because of the opportunities that are ahead and making sure that we strike while the iron's hot, all of that. So these songs demand a lot of time. And thank God I have a wife that understands and you know, and is lenient with a brother, straight up. Shout out to Margarita. Shout out to my baby Margarita.
So that's good to know. I listen. My husband go in the studio. He'll just come home from work, eat a sandwich, go in the studio. Next thing I
Hmm.
know, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, bro, what? What are you? Huh? He's
Yeah,
like, I'm
see, and
sorry,
to
sorry.
us, I'm gonna
Right.
tell you, to us, it's like 10, 20 minutes, and it'll be 5 hours. Like I'll start in the morning sometimes. And like 11 o'clock at night, it'd be like, oh, I didn't eat. Like I didn't drink anything. Like, oh wow, I'm thirsty as hell, right? I got to do something about this, right? But it doesn't dawn on you until later. You're so entrenched in what you're doing
Yes.
and trying to flesh out again. Sometimes when you're trying to flesh out what you're hearing in spirit and how God's given it to you, sometimes it is very easy, and sometimes it just takes forever. I could spend a week trying to make it sound how I'm hearing it, and then I have to blend like six sounds together to make it sound right, and it's just crazy. And try and figure out how come it doesn't sound like how I'm hearing it in my head. That's a that's the journey. It's fun, but it does hog up a lot of time, as you know. I ain't gotta tell you, you know.
Yeah. Um, I think is timing is everything. And again, a couple of years ago, we wouldn't. I didn't see this coming, nor did you. So again,
Yeah.
we're grateful for the time, and we're thankful for this moment where we get to celebrate you, celebrate the work you and
Wow.
your brother did together. For
Yes.
those who are younger than
Yeah.
me, who never heard and did not know, they're actually being reintroduced to you,
That's true.
which is a whole nother era of fans.
Yeah.
And so as we can see with the new additions, we can see with more of the old schools coming together, Backstreet, all of them coming back out um with
Yeah.
rap, great music that was
Yeah.
meaningful. Um and great music never dies, ever.
That's true. Never. Like it doesn't matter
You
from what
can
era.
at my age still listen to a Al Green or Teddy Pendergrass or Luther Vandross, any
Hmm.
of those, just because now we saying not Al is not dead.
The
Let me
greats.
correct that. But those classics, they're never die. They transcend over time.
Yep.
And this is what PM Dawn is about. So
Wow.
again, to let you know from a middle school person who
Wow.
going into the ninth grade, I
Wow.
remember exactly when I heard the song, exactly in this movie that was the baddest movie to this day. People are
Hmm.
still talking about Boomerang. When it comes on
Absolutely.
television, we're getting the calls, we're getting the text messages like, look, guess what's on? And we're watching it.
Hmm.
Boomerang again was one of those movies where the acting, um, the lines. I'll never forget Weatherspoon and the mushrooms. You got to
Oh
coordinate
my
and
God.
all of this stuff.
Coordinate.
All of
Yes.
those moments in those movies are still funny to this day. So again, thank you, um, you and your brother for producing awesome
Wow.
work, an awesome
My
body of
pleasure.
work.
My pleasure. Wow. Yeah, you know you know what? You never know how what you just do what you do as an artist, and you never know how it's gonna affect anybody until it happens. Right. And then I hear a lot of you guys got me through college and all that kind of stuff. Like when I think about college life, it's all you guys. And, it's like I didn't go to college, but I kind of did. And, I was still there. The spirit of what we
Spirit,
did
yes,
was there, which is
yes.
dope.
I was well, you know, I'm working on a blueprint.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm typing the book up, and we're at chapter 6 of speaking. And we were talking about this last night about our language and how we speak and say certain things.
Hmm.
And I'm learning more and more that we were made for history. We were made for a purpose and a bigger picture than what we see at the time.
Yeah,
Who would have ever known that 20 something years ago, this what God gave you was going to change the world? We didn't know that.
that's true.
So I'm saying for all those who are listening, when you get back to the blueprint or you follow the blueprint, the instructions that is given to you inside of you, what you're here for is for evolution. It's for a vision. It's for connection. It's for all of these different reasons for you to embark on history. You can never erase history. One thing I will say
Mhm.
is in the book, when we talked about this famous story, somebody walking on water, talking about Jesus, yes. But the person that was in the boat with multiple people, none of them had the idea to say, if it's you, Jesus, can you bid me to come to you? Huh? Nobody thought
Mm.
that. But one person, this one person now has history that can never be erased, that he got out of the boat and walked on water.
Hmm. And
That's
that,
attached to his name. So
wow,
now we're saying, what is the story in the history that is attached to eternal?
wow,
Ain't that deep? I
yeah.
try to be every now and then.
That's, yeah, and that's the blueprint, right?
That's the
That is the
blueprint.
thing to follow. And wow, that's dope. And I already told you this already, but it's necessary. And people, when they're growing through their process, need something, need a guide. So that's dope. You're doing that, and we already know it's being led by the spirit. You know what I'm saying? And so you're in the right place at the right time, doing the right things,
But y'all
and I
don't know
appreciate that.
this man right here is awesome. And I'm saying this um because I've had conversations with him before this. Now, as you all know, I don't ask questions. I don't, you're not getting that. This is straight from the throne. But
Hmm.
I've had conversations with him that this was inevitable. And where he's going from here is way bigger than that. That was the scratching the surface. And he did good then. Wait until you see what's about to happen now. Because now he's
That's right.
grown up from that. He's matured since that. So the whole thing is we learn our lessons and we reteach them
Yep.
after our own experiences. We reteach them. So now you have the manual right before you of how this goes now because I've already encountered everything that you're trying to go to. That's
Wow.
why you're
And
here.
it's so, yeah, it's brilliant, right? And again, we do need guides. We really do. We when we have these Prince B as a songwriter was always writing songs and asking questions, right? Asking spiritual questions or about a spiritual experience he just had or something like that. And he asked the only reason why you ask a question is because you want answers, right? And that's all he was about. Like, let's ask this question and get answers. Like, let's be in the answer. Let's live the answer. And it's great when you asking these questions that you have a guide, right? Thank God. Mine was not only Prince B, but Rev Run um, came as a guide of I Die Without You, thank God, afforded us um, the luxury of singing at Rev Run's wedding when Rev Run and Justine got married.
What?
So yeah, yeah, and
I
it
didn't
was
know that.
yeah, and it was all like he asked Justine, who do you want to sing at what artist you want to perform at our wedding, and she said, of course, PM Dawn, I Die Without You, I want that. So Run said, I'm gonna make that happen, right? So I just remember getting a call from Prince B. He was in Atlanta, just hanging out in Atlanta. I was home with Margarita, with the wife, chilling, and the kids. And he calls and he goes, I just saw Rev Run at the airport, and he said we're singing at his wedding. So we're singing at his wedding, right? I said, all right, what date is it? So he told me the date. All right, cool, done, right? Never asked him, can we get paid? What's this is our fee. Like none of that. It was a complete honor and a privilege to do so for him. if anybody that knows us in Jersey City who hung out with us knows that in our bedroom growing up, you couldn't see our walls because it was plastered with Run DMC posters. Like that's it. So to have that, and Prince B told me, he said Run saw him from way across the airport and just kept yelling his name and ran to him, and he jumped on him, like arms around him, legs around him, like, you're singing at my wedding, like you're singing. And B, he called me, he's like, yo, we singing at Run's wedding, man. That's it. And it's good because I Die Without You, Eddie Murphy, and shout out to Prince B for writing that song again, because it afforded us to have a guide. When we were asking spiritual questions, he brought us into an atmosphere. Well, we didn't only have one God, we had multiple. And it was one of the greatest experiences ever. It's still continuing. So we all, like your blueprint. I'll just say this again. You're all in blue today. Look at you, right? It's coming out of you. It's like you just wrote some chapters, right? you know you finished with that book, you're typing everything out. And again, thank you for being a guide for people, and they can pick up this book and know, okay, this the blueprint. Let me follow this and see how it works for me. And we all need it.
And
Appreciate your sunshine.
I'm not about to make a mess of my makeup. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But unfortunately, our hour is almost up.
Oh man,
It goes by so fast when
it
you're having
does, right?
so much fun. But I want
Wow.
everybody to look into TV1 tomorrow. The Unsung show is going to be airing tomorrow night, April 3rd,
Yeah.
9
9
o'clock,
p.m. 9 p.m. Yes.
9 p.m. Eastern
Yeah.
Standard Time, 8
Replay at 11.
yes, 8 p.m. Central Time. I want
Yes.
you guys to watch this show. It's gonna be mind blowing, like you said, very informative from start to finish. Um, and just support period of another the pioneers of
Wow.
music, legendary, and for you to hear on this show the Eddie Murphy phone calls, the Run DMC tackle, and you're singing this song at my wedding is a testament of um, when God is on it and when you on God's side,
Yeah. Yep.
God gonna make some things happen for you, and it's still speaking to this day. You guys made history, and you're still making it to this day. So again,
Yeah.
everyone, did you have anything else you want to say to the people, Phoebe? I'll let you go.
Yeah. If there's any artists out there that may be listening, I just want to say this for the record and really take this to the vest, hold it to your heart forever. This business should never be called show business. It should be called business show. And if you do not know your business, you don't know what a split sheet is when you're writing songs with other people, or you don't know that you're supposed to register your songs with Nielsen SoundScan. So, when your songs get played, it, it, it picks up in the system, right? If you don't know all these things and a little bit about some contracts or something, then you have to reevaluate that, because you have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself as an artist. And again, it should never, ever be called show business. Business show is what it should be called. Take care of your business, and you'll go out on stage more comfortable because there's nobody robbing you. There's none of that. I just want to say this quickly. I saw recently online um, of why Steve Harvey was doing all these events. He's hosting this, he's hosting that. Like, he found out as Steve Harvey, right, that he was 20 something million dollars in debt because he was signing over checks to his people, his accountants. They took it and they stapled it to the paperwork. They took money out and put it like they were cashing those checks for tax purposes, and put it in their own pocket. So not only did he have to go out and pay the back taxes with all the fees, but he had to pay his current taxes. So he started taking everything on as Steve Harvey as we know him, right? So it's really important that artists pay attention to on every level where your money's going, what it's doing, and you be the headhunter. Don't be like, oh, my accountant got that or something. No, you make sure, or you do it yourself. For real, get the paperwork. It's good. All right, let me do it. Just make sure artists that make sure y'all take care of yourselves with this business, because only person that's really gonna look out for you is you, or really close family members, and that's it. You know, people that circle of trust is really small. Outside of that, forget it. All right, take care of your own for real. It's very important. And again, you'll know why I'm saying this when you watch the Unsung piece, when you watch the Unsung tomorrow, April 3rd, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's another it's another how would I say this? Because I don't want to give too much up, but I'll just say just watch the episode, and you'll learn something for real.
Tell them how they can get in touch with you on your like social media platform.
Yeah, man. You guys can holler at me on Twitter at eternal_PM Dawn. You guys can holler at me on Instagram, eternal_PM Dawn. Y'all can holler at me on YouTube, Eternal11. Y'all can holler at me on Facebook by my government, Jared Cortez, by my government. As Damon Wayans would say, my government name is Jared Cortez. So y'all can hit me up on Facebook with Jared Cortez as well. All right, y'all.
Thank you again, people. Like, share, subscribe. As soon as this is over, I'm gonna post it on the Facebook page. I can't go live because I'm still in Facebook jail for another 28 days, which is crazy.
Wow.
However, again, we believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're one person away, as Jared
Mhm.
saw. You're one person away, one advice away, and one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. And we are out.
Peace, y'all. Peace.